Yes, everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV, and welcome to another News Daily video. Now, in today's video, I've got a lot to talk about. To start with, I will be focusing on Hudson-Odoi and the latest surrounding the news that he will be signing a 5-year deal. I'm hearing some things, and you guys are going to hear about them as well. I told you guys last week, expect there to be a lot of moves happening this week when it comes to players leaving on loan. And I'll be talking about all the players leaving the club right now. However, before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. Download the OneFootball app to stay up to date to all the latest news surrounding players departing the club. The OneFootball app is so convenient because you get updated alerts informing you of the latest news surrounding players of the club. So if you guys want this, you'll find it in the link in the description below. Now, getting straight into things, and yeah, I will be talking about Hudson-Odoi. I do want to let you guys know though, for the first part, I'm going to be talking about the news coming out from the press. And for the second part, I will be talking about things I'm hearing about what's happening behind the scenes. Now, yesterday evening, The Sun, The Times, the BBC and the Daily Mail all reported on very big news that Hudson-Odoi was imminent from signing his new 5-year deal. And this 5-year deal is worth around 100k to 180k per week. Now, when I first read this stuff, my first take was, wow, Riley Hudson-Odoi really secured the bag for his little bro. However, I was reading from Sky Sports that the club have offered him 180k per week, and anytime Sky Sports says something, I always take it with a pinch of salt because they're not the most reliable, they're not the most accurate. So I did a bit of digging and I found out that in fact, Hudson-Odoi will be signing a base salary of 100k per week. And with bonuses and clauses, this could potentially rise 180k per week. The Mail were the first ones to report this story yesterday, and they're saying that now that Hudson-Odoi's camp have agreed to the terms offered, all that needs to be done now to finalize this move are just a few legalities before this announcement becomes official. Now, of course, initial takes, and I was telling you guys I was feeling very confident about this because I knew that once Callum spoke to Frank, it was going to be a formality. It really was. I mean, come on, the left wing spot is open for you. You're earning up to 6 figures a week already. A club like ours, who never give opportunities to young players, are basically bending over to give you the best possible terms. And I knew with Callum, the only thing he wants is that final 100% confidence from speaking to Frank, so Frank can really tell Callum what he wants to hear, how he's going to be used, and how he sees him being used this season. And we can't forget too, if the club are willing to offer this amount of money for Hudson-Odoi, it means that they understand and appreciate the fact that they have a world-class talent on their hands. And for me, Hudson-Odoi is a world-class talent, and it's no surprise why the club have decided to give into the terms that Callum's team wants. Now, I need to tell you guys about what I've been hearing behind the scenes, and what I'm hearing in fact is that this deal is not yet completed, it's not yet done. Now, I've heard that the agency that represents Callum, his brother, which is his agent Bradley Hudson-Odoi, have prematurely released the news that Hudson-Odoi's deal with the club has been finalized. Now, this is a bit crazy because they released this news without waiting for the official finalities to be done. And from people I've been speaking to, everyone's been criticizing Callum's camp for being so amateurish and lacking the experience needed to negotiate at this level. Now, yesterday, Callum did release a photo on Twitter of him wearing the shirt, and yeah, it was quite cryptic, but really it could be anything. It really could. And for my take, the impression I got was that it was assurances to the fans that yes, he does see his future with the club. And I think what really backs up my theory is the fact that, you know, it's coming out from reports in Germany that Bayern Munich are now turning their attentions to Leroy Sané from Man City. And I think if they're doing that, it means that they're not feeling confident right now. And again, I've always felt as if Hudson-Odoi was always going to sign and commit his future to this club. But anyway, getting straight back into Hudson-Odoi's team, and at this point, I gotta be honest you guys, I keep hearing so many things. I feel as if the way they're releasing information is way too cryptic than it needs to be. I feel as if that they just need to be a bit open now. I think we all kind of know what's happening. The fans feel confident that Hudson-Odoi is going to be signing a new deal, and I don't understand so many conflicting reports. But again, as I said, at this point now, everything is above my head. I'm finding it hard to make sense of the deal. I mean, I'll give you guys an example. I was told last night that Bradley Hudson-Odoi isn't even working for Callum like we thought he was. Instead, he's acting more as like a rep. And instead, Callum does have his own agent that's dealing with the club. And when you remember too that the club have brought in other intermediary figures to help with this deal, as I said, I can't really understand how it's working. I'm finding it really hard, so I do apologize to you guys. But all I can say is that this deal is merely a matter of time. Now, there's some more things that I do want to say before I move on to the next stories, and that's when it comes to the number 10 shirt. Now, at first, and me as well, we were all meant to believe that Callum was going to be given the number 10 shirt that had been agreed upon. But a few days ago, it came out that Willian, in fact, will be wearing the number 10 shirt. And of course, there's a lot to think about from this news. And my initial take is the fact that, listen, we know at this club, we don't like losing. We love to save face. We do that all the time. Obviously, we can't be looking as if we're giving all our power to an 18-year-old, especially one from the academy. Of course not. So I would not be surprised if the club said, you know what, we are going to agree to your terms, but not everything. Financially, you're sorted. But when it comes to the number 10 shirt, we feel as if it's something you should be working for. In fact, if you do really see yourself committing your future with us, and by giving it to Willian, I kind of see it as Willian safeguarding the number 10 shirt until Hudson-Odoi takes it. It's as simple as that. From what I'm hearing, Willian could potentially be leaving to Asia next summer. I'm hearing some interesting things too about David Neres. Obviously, Willian, Neres, they share the same agent. I'm hearing some interesting things. I don't even want to get into the details just yet. I was going to get into them for today's video, but I do want to find out a bit more news first before I announce it to you guys. But I think now I've spoken about this story for long enough. Callum will be signing. It is going to be a matter of time. Of course, I'm excited. I can't wait for this guy to get back and do what he does best, which is ball. The guy is a baller, and I'm happy that the club are finally showing confidence in one of our own, and I think that Callum is going to do this shirt justice. Now, moving straight to the second part for today's video, and I'm going to be breaking down and going through all the players that will be departing the club on loan, as well as giving you guys some news on potential departures on a permanent sale as well. And I think to start off with, I will be talking about Tomori first. Tomori is expected to get a loan move very soon. Understandably, he won't be part of the squads. If we think about it, 5 centre-backs really ain't needed. And to be honest, it's really not the end. When you consider that David Luiz is getting older, and depending on how well Tomori performs on loan this season, you'd expect Tomori to naturally replace David Luiz. Now, Lampard, we already know, is a massive fan of Derby's player of the season, rates him very highly, so Tomori can play with confidence knowing that as long as he performs well, he has the opportunity to stake a claim in the squad for next season. Now, so far when it comes to interested clubs, teams from the Premier League, the Bundesliga and the Portuguese League have all been speaking to his agent, the reps and the club. And with Tomori, he can improve, and it makes sense for him now to push for a loan move because now he needs consistent game time. There's no way you can be Derby's player of the year to then stay with us and get 5 to 6 appearances this season. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I can tell you guys too that the club rejected Burnley's bid for Tomori. If you guys didn't realise, Burnley came in with a bid to sign Tomori on a permanent. The club said no outright, and the reason for that is Burnley don't play football. They want Tomori to continue his education. They want him to improve, to get better. And by signing for clubs like Burnley, what are you going to learn? Like, honestly, this is great news in my opinion because it tells you that the club are finally starting to wake up and realize, you know what, we need to take better care of our investments because the young players are basically the club's investments. And to do that, let's find them the right environment and the right club so they can grow and improve his players. Now, this falls in nicely with the second player, and this player has officially completed his move to Fortuna Düsseldorf. Of course, I'm talking about Lewis Baker. Now, last season was hard for Baker. Leeds didn't use him, and to be honest, when you're Lewis Baker, with how you play the game, most teams in the Championship don't have any tactical use for you. It's more about the physicality. It's more about wanting midfield players that are going to press in the middle and work hard. You don't really want too much technicality from your midfield players. So it was going to be hard for him. Of course, halfway through the season, Reading came in and signed him on loan to the end of the season. And Lewis Baker started to regain his form. He was looking more confident. It helped him that he was playing in a system that complemented his needs better. And Baker's at the stage right now where the club have agreed that he needs consistent game time at a good level. And the reason why the club still believe in Lewis Baker is because he's rated very highly from since he was a kid. He has a left foot, a right foot. Passing range is fantastic. Set piece threat, great as well. Long shot technique. The guy scores goals, but for me, I personally think he's best as a box-to-box midfield player purely because he doesn't have the body to be that great defensively. Anyway, Baker has signed for Fortuna Düsseldorf on a 1-year loan, and Fortuna signed him because one of their key midfield players has been ruled out for the season with an ACL tear. Lewis Baker effectively just replaces him tactically. And the great thing about Baker signing for Fortuna Düsseldorf is that now he gets to advertise his skill set and his ability in the Bundesliga. And when you realize in the Bundesliga that English players are very sexy right now, it's a great club for Baker to kickstart his career again and hopefully get things moving. Now, another player that has completed a loan move today is Clark Salter. He did sign for Birmingham City. And for me, I don't know, I wasn't too impressed by this news. I thought that from the reports I was reading, he did well at Vitesse last season. And I don't really like this current trend of players signing for Vitesse to then go back to the Championship. It feels a bit backwards in that sense. It doesn't make too much sense for me. And anytime I look at Clark Salter, it makes me think, if this guy came from Burnley's academy, Southampton's, etc., etc., he would be playing at a higher level now. He would be spoken about a lot more. Hopefully it'll be the last time that he does play in the Championship, because for me, he is better than that. And moving on to another player, and his name is Ethan Ampadu. Now, we all know this, Ampadu has signed for RB Leipzig on loan, the best loan signing. I didn't want this guy playing for Aston Villa. I didn't really see the point in that. And I think because he hasn't played any football this past 2 years, even though he has been a Welsh international player, really the step up to the Bundesliga, representing RB Leipzig, who have a history of using British players. You know, for example, guys like Lookman and Rowe from Arsenal. So Ampadu is joining a club where the environment's going to help him get to where he needs to get to. I'm going to be curious to see how he's used. Will he be used in midfield or defence, or even as a fullback? I think with Ampadu, he is quite good defensively. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he's used from a tactical point of view. But the biggest positive of Ampadu moving on loan to Leipzig is the fact that he's working under Nagelsmann. Now you guys, I'm sure a lot of you know about Nagelsmann already. Fantastic young manager, great tactically. He's really made things happen. And with Ampadu learning under him, where he's going to be playing regularly, this is the best thing that he needed. And to end this video very quickly, Matt Miazga has returned to Reading on loan for another year. Now, of course, last season he did sign for Reading on loan for the second half of the season. Now, from what Reading fans have been saying about Miazga, it seems as if every fan is very happy that they've secured him for another season. Now with Miazga, of course, when we first signed him, we all had thoughts that he would be doing better so far in his career right now. For me though, you know, he's never been too great technically, and it doesn't work at a club like ours. If you're a centre back and you can't pass the ball, if you're susceptible to easily losing possession, you're not really going to have a future here. And for me, keeping Miazga is kind of like, you know, what's the point right now? And the last thing I want to say is news about Trevor Chalobah. From what I'm hearing, it's looking like he could be leaving the club on a permanent. And you guys know I broke the news in regards to how Chalobah was traded under Conte and by Marina and others. So because of that bad blood, things haven't been too rosy between the Chalobahs and the club. It seems like Trevor's thinking of keeping it moving, and one of the main reasons as to why the club don't mind in this case, from what I've been hearing, is the fact that this academy group is the real deal. And there's some kids that we have in this academy group that the club feel can actually push on to do something. again, I am going to release a video on these guys to let you guys know who to look out for, who to get excited by, etc, etc. So again, it's unfortunate. I think that Jalab's very good technically. Talks that Huddersfield Town may be moving for the player. I know that Derby were talking to him as well, so I'm sure he's going to have a ton of options. However, if I was him and a team from the Bundesliga wants to sign me, I'm going there. Anyway, I'm going to keep it moving. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. See you guys later.